Hello students, a very good morning to you. As you know that we are revising our chapters. So let's continue our revision of chapter 2 of class 12, that is human reproduction. In my last class, I have told you explained about the gametogenesis, means the spermatogenesis, that is how male gamete is formed. In this class, we will study about oogenesis, means how the female gamete or ovum is formed. This is very different from the process of spermatogenesis. As you know that spermatogenesis process initiated during the period of puberty, whereas oogenesis is initiated at the time of fetal life. It means the process of formation of ovum occurs inside the human female body, means when the female child is inside its mother's body. Clear students? So the difference is, in case of males, spermatogenesis starts at puberty, whereas in case of females, oogenesis starts during the fetal life, means when itself or when the female child is inside her mother's body, then the completion of oogenesis was occurred. So students, let's see how this process occurs in human beings or in animals. As we know that during the initial stage of formation of ovums or during the process of oogenesis, there is millions of gametes are formed. Millions of female gametes are formed. And students, remember one thing, there will be no formation of gamete after birth, means in case of female child, the ovums are produced or the female gametes are produced only when the child was inside the mother's body, and after birth no ovum is formed. That's why millions of female gametes are formed during the fetal life of the female, which are called as oogonia, which are named or called as oogonia, whose ploidy is 2n. Clear? Here the oogonia is formed inside the mother's body when the female child is inside the mother's body, and they are called as oogonia, and they are formed in the ovary. In the ovary. You think during fetal life, when the fetus is so small and in its ovary, which is also so small, there are millions of female gametes are formed. Gradually they get matured and released from the body. So what are the processes between the formation till its release? So students, you know that the oogonia that is formed, here is the graph. Through this graph you can easily understand what I am trying to teach you. Here are the oogonia. These oogonias are formed during the fetal life. Here you can see these oogonias are formed during the fetal life. And these oogonia go through mitosis. Like in case of spermatogenesis, the spermatogonia also goes through mitosis for its differentiation, means for its increasing the number. Here also same process occurs. Here oogonia first goes through mitosis, means equational division. Here mitosis occurs, due to which many gametes are formed during the fetal life. And after mitosis, some of the oogonia are known as primary oocytes, means after mitosis of the oogonia, some of the oogonia are called as primary oocytes, whose ploidy is called as 2n, or whose ploidy is 2n, means they contain diploid number of chromosomes. And again, the primary oocyte completed its first meiotic division during the time from birth to puberty. It means the ovums formed inside the female body are present as primary oocyte in the female body. Clear? When she takes birth or when he got birth, and after birth to puberty, these primary oocytes remain in a arrested stage. It means there will be no development and no change occur. When that change occur when the female child enters in puberty, and in puberty the second meiosis occurs, due to which it get converted into secondary oocyte and then ovum. So here is the graph you can see. Here are the primary oocyte. Here first meiosis division occurs, that is between birth to puberty, and primary oocytes go into through a arrested stage, and when puberty comes, then the primary oocyte get converted into secondary oocyte, and then secondary oocyte get converted into ovum. So students, let's see theoretically how this process occurs. As I have told you, primary oocyte whose fluid is 2N. This is in arrested stage. When we enter, or when the female child enter in puberty, you know that puberty is the physical maturation of the body, and in this period the female releases the female gamete and ready for reproduction. So in puberty the primary oocyte have certain changes. That changes make to release the ovum, and the releasing of ovum from the ovary is called as ovulation, but the formation of ovum is called as oogenesis. This is the main difference. Oogenesis and ovulation. Oogenesis occurs during the fetal life, whereas ovulation occurs at the puberty. So which changes are seen in primary oocyte? Let's see. As I have told you, when the female enters into puberty, or in puberty, the primary oocyte have some changes. Means suppose this is primary oocyte, then it has a layer of granulosa cell. This is primary oocyte. Then when this primary oocyte get covered by a layer of granulosa cell, this is granulosa cell, and this is primary oocyte. Now the primary oocyte get covered by the granulosa cell. Then it will get converted into primary follicle. Students, watch it carefully. First, the primary oocyte have a layer of granulosa cell, and the primary oocyte now get converted into primary follicle. It means the primary oocyte as it is remain inside it, only the primary follicle is formed. Again, next what happen? There are many layers. This is primary oocyte, and around it many layers of granulosa cell are present. These are many layers of granulosa cell are present. So this is called as, this is many layer of granulosa cell is formed. Here this will be called as, then the primary follicle get converted into secondary follicle. Here secondary follicle. Students, remember one thing. Primary oocyte as it is remains as primary oocyte. These oocytes are covered by, or formation of follicles are occur. As we know that follicles. So these follicles, how they are formed? When granulosa cell covers the primary oocyte, then it will get converted into primary follicle. Then many layer of granulosa cells cover the primary oocyte, then it is get converted into secondary follicle. Again, the secondary follicle get converted into tertiary follicle. When there is a antrum is present between the primary oocyte. This part is called as antrum. This is granulosa cell, and this is primary oocyte. Now we can't say this primary oocyte. Now this is called as secondary oocyte. Remember students, the identification of a tertiary follicle is formation of antrum. Antrum is a fluid-filled cavity which separates the granulosa cells with the oocyte. Clear? Antrum is the fluid-filled cavity. This is the characteristic feature of tertiary follicle. Inside the tertiary follicle, now the primary oocyte get converted into secondary oocyte. Clear students? Again I am repeating this. This is primary oocyte which is present inside the female body, and during puberty these changes are occurred. Before puberty occur means before menstrual cycle, this primary oocyte has the single layer of granulosa cell which is called as primary follicle. Then when more than single layer, double, triple layer of granulosa cell, then it is called as secondary follicle. When there is a cavity, fluid filled cavity is formed between the oocyte and the granulosa layer, this is called as tertiary follicle. Inside the tertiary follicle, the size of primary oocyte get increased, and that makes the primary oocyte, or that converts the primary oocyte into secondary oocyte. Clear? And that secondary oocyte inside the tertiary follicle grows in size and get converted into mature or Graafian follicle. That will get converted into mature and Graafian follicle. Due to the hormonal action, as in case of human males, we see that how the process of spermatogenesis occur and which hormones are help in releasing the male gamete sperm. Here exactly what happens, the mature follicle or Graafian follicle inside which the secondary oocyte. Another thing students remember, we can't say as here ovum till it will not release from the Graafian follicle or from the mature follicle, it is said to be secondary oocyte. So here what happened? Some gonadotropin releasing hormones are secreted, means LH and FSH. As you know that what is the function of LH and FSH? LH means luteinizing hormone and FSH means follicle stimulating hormone. The role of FSH is during the growth of oocyte, whereas the role of luteinizing hormone, LH hormone, is to induce ovulation, means induce the rupture of Graafian follicle. At the mid period of the time, means which we will study in our next class, that at the day 14 of the menstrual cycle, then the level of LH hormone is high, due to which there is the rupture of Graafian follicle occurs. Now this is the mature Graafian follicle and inside its secondary oocyte is present. This is Graafian follicle and inside it this is secondary oocyte, and the LH hormone increased. Due to increase, not only LH hormone but also FSH hormone increased. Both FSH and LH hormone so much high that induces the rupture of Graafian follicle, and with its rupture the secondary oocyte is now released as ovum. This is called as ovum, and this process is also called as LH surge. Remember students, this process is called as LH surge. LH surge means due to the high secretion or excess secretion of LH hormone, it induces the rupture of Graafian follicle and releases the ovum, and this process is called as ovulation. Here I have told you about LH surge. LH surge means when the luteinizing hormone is at a high peak and that induces the rupture of Graafian follicle, due to which the secondary oocyte released from the Graafian follicle, which is called as ovum. This process is called as LH surge, means due to LH hormone the Graafian follicle rupture. And another thing, when the ovum releases from the Graafian follicle, this process is called as ovulation. You can see the diagram and you can be understand. Then what happened? Then after releasing of the ovum is covered by a layer of cell which is called as zona pellucida layer. Clear students? The secondary oocyte have a layer, or the secondary oocyte or the ovum have a layer which is called as zona pellucida layer. When you will study about fertilization, that you will see how the sperm enters through the zona pellucida layer. I will explain you later. You just here remember LH surge and ovulation. After releasing of the ovum from the Graafian follicle, ovum is released for fertilization. Clear? If fertilization occurs, then its implantation occurs. That's why one part of Graafian follicle get converted into corpus luteum, through which progesterone hormone is secreted, and progesterone hormone is called as the pregnancy hormone as it helps in the maintenance of endometrium. This topic also you will study in next class, next period. So here you just remember, ovulation leads to fertilization. If fertilization not occurs, then what will happen? Then the ovum is released from the body through the vagina in the form of blood and mucus, which is called as menstrual cycle. And menstrual cycle is the sign of physical maturity of the body in case of females. Clear, students? So this is how ovulation occurs or oogenesis occurs in human females. I am repeating it again, students. You can see that gametogenesis is the formation of gametes. Here we studied about oogenesis. Oogenesis means formation of ovums inside the ovary of the female. Then I have told you that millions of female gametes are formed in both the ovaries, means in the each ovary, and the till puberty, after birth there will be no ovum is formed inside the female body, and till puberty only 60 to 80,000 ovums remains in each ovary. Clear? And these ovums or these oocytes gradually one by one get matured after every month and released from the body. If fertilization occur, then pregnancy occurs. If fertilization not occur, then it will release from the body in the blood, in the form of blood and mucus, which is called as your menstrual cycle or menstruation. Then this is the process how a primary oocyte becomes a mature ovum. I have told you the process, whole process. This is the primary oocyte which is present after birth, and that primary oocyte goes through a arrested stage, means there will be no development of this oocyte till birth to puberty, and when it enters in puberty, then there are formation of layer of granulosa cells which makes the primary oocyte into primary follicle, then secondary follicle, then tertiary or mature Graafian follicle, and that mature Graafian follicle is get ruptured by the gonadotropin releasing hormone or hypothalamic hormone LH and FSH. Due to the high secretion of LH hormone, the ovum is released from the ovary. This process is called ovulation, and as here the LH induces the rupture of Graafian follicle, that's why it is called as LH surge. And after rupture of Graafian follicle, one part of the Graafian follicle goes through luteal phase and forms corpus luteum, and through corpus luteum progesterone hormone is secreted, which is called as pregnancy hormone, and that progesterone hormone helps in the maintenance of endometrium. Why? As we know that the implantation of zygote occurs in the on the endometrium, that's why its maintenance must be necessary. So students, this is all about your gametogenesis, means oogenesis. In the next class we will study about menstrual cycle.